So then Wolves have announced yet again another January signing. It makes it number 5 for this month. Hopefully it's not the last one either, but Daniel Bentley has joined the club from Bristol City. The goalkeeper joins Wolves on a 2.5-year deal, with the club holding the option of an additional 2 years as well. Today we're going to be having a quick look at the signing. We've got some insight from the Bristol City end as well, and as always, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. So yeah, Daniel Bentley is coming in to join Wolves. Looks like he's going to be the number 2 option to play behind Jose Sarr at the moment, but it adds some much needed experience to this Wolves squad. Wolves have made no secret that since Julian Lopetegui has come in, they want to add leadership, they want to add experience to this squad, and they've started to do that with a number of the signings we've seen. I think the club know that they made a big error throughout the summer, letting go such big characters all at once. We lost Romain Saiss, we lost Connor Cody, John Ruddy, and the club now are sort of looking to bring these players back into the club. But Bentley has joined the club. It was reported almost 2 weeks ago for the first time by Alex Crook of TalkSport, who had said that Bentley is a potential target for Wolves. It was said just after Christmas in other reports from the Express and Star, predominantly saying that Wolves wanted to bolster and strengthen the goalkeeping department at the club. Now, it's not for, like I said earlier, that Daniel Bentley is going to be challenging Jose Sarr too closely, but I think with his personality, his leadership that he brings, you know, he's still a good goalkeeper. So I think he's a more than adequate backup for Jose Sarr, and who knows, things may change and he may push Sarr on a little bit more for that number 1 spot. Of course, this move frees up Mateusz Sarkic to go out on loan. It's just been confirmed that he's gone to Stoke City on loan for the remainder of the season, when I think for a goalkeeper of that sort of age, I think it's crucial for him to be getting game time. But Daniel Bentley's got vast experience. He's played over 400 Football League games. I think he's going to add that something that Wolves really need in the dressing room. And at the time now where Wolves need to improve, they need a better atmosphere, they need good morale, they need good results. Transfers like this are obviously going to help. Now, over the last day or so, it's been said that Wolves agreed a nominal fee with Bristol City for the goalkeeper. Bristol Live are reporting that that may well be around just £50,000, which sounds fantastic, a fantastic piece of business for Wolves. Bentley was out of contract at the end of the season for Bristol City, but had spent time as their captain, had a little bit of a fallout with current manager there, Nigel Pearson, and, you know, with past experience, not personal past experience, but knowing what Nigel Pearson is like, I'm sure if you get on the wrong side of him, it's probably very difficult to try and make amends with him. A very difficult character to deal with. But yeah, I am intrigued by this sign. I think it's a piece of business that people probably won't appreciate as much as it should be, and I am intrigued to see how he gets on. We've got some comments, obviously, from Matt Hobbs again, who has said that Dan is a vastly experienced goalkeeper from the Championship. He was Bristol City's captain, so he's another big personality, a leader coming into the group. He's at a good age of 29, a goalkeeper's prime for the next few years, so it made sense from all angles, especially with a nominal fee. It's also a player that Tony Roberts has kept close tabs on, so I'm sure with Tony Roberts being the goalkeeper coach at Wolves, that they would have wanted his opinion on this, and it's a player that Tony Roberts has been aware of for a long time. But Dan Bentley, really interesting signing. Matt earlier on today spoke to Bristol City fan and semi-pro goalkeeper Stu Parsons about the signing, what Wolves can expect, and whether it is a good move for the club.
Stu, thanks for joining us, mate. Thoughts on the Daniel Bentley move? Were you shocked when that news came about? He's obviously not first choice at Bristol at the minute.
Shocked wouldn't be the right word, because he's fallen out with, well, the manager's fallen out with him, which is why he got dropped. To most Bristol City fans, he would be the number 1 choice, and he has been arguably the best player for he was player of the season last year for us, definitely, and he certainly has been one of our better players in the early part of the season when he was playing. The fact that he wasn't playing would always mean that a move was likely. I was slightly shocked to see a Premier League club coming in for him, bearing in mind that he wasn't playing, but he's a very good goalkeeper and top-end Championship goalkeeper, so good luck to him.
Yeah, you say there about falling out with the manager. I think everyone knows that Nigel Pearson is a bit of a divisive character. Do you know exactly what happened there? Do you know what's caused the argument? Has anything come out in the press about it?
I haven't been privy to what's come out, but I was at the last game that he played against Birmingham City when we got beat 3-0 at St Andrews. He, as well as the whole 11 that played that day, didn't have a particularly good game. And Pearson made quite a few changes after that fixture and was quite strong in his post-match press conference. I see Dan Bentley as a big character. He's well liked in the changing room. I wouldn't be surprised if he potentially challenged maybe what was said post-match, and that might have been the fallout with it. But I don't have any concrete stuff to tell you.
Yeah, well, we all know what Nigel Pearson's like. You say there, he's a bit of a leader, which is exactly what Wolves are probably why they've signed him. Why they need those kind of players in the dressing room. He was club captain, wasn't he, as well?
Yeah, he was club captain. He was really, really good around the club. He was brilliant with the fans. A lot of the fans have got respect for him just because of what he did with a lot of the younger age supporters. Very, very kind and giving back to the local area. But more importantly, he stood up when the club were under a bit of pressure, not off the pitch, but on the pitch. We would be in games where we'd be completely under the cosh and we were getting 1-0 wins or draws because of his performances. Which made him a leader figure on the pitch as well as off the pitch. So I think he'll be a big loss for Bristol City. The fact that obviously he wasn't playing for us, but I do think that he's probably the top 2 or 3 championship goalkeepers in the division. And the fact that he was sat on our bench is criminal. And whether he can make the step to play, I know where Wolves have struggled this season, but I still see them as a fairly mid-table football club in the Premier League. Whether I would have seen him playing in a mid-table Premier League side is another thing, but you only have to look at David Raya at Brentford, who's made the transition pretty well, and he's a very similar goalkeeper to him that likes to play with his feet and commands his area. So, you never know, really, given a chance.
Yeah, you say there about good use of his feet. That's something that has been Wolves' downfall in Jose Sarr the past few weeks. You've seen a big error at Man City at the weekend. As a goalkeeper yourself, Stu, if you could tell our listeners who you've played for, because Stu and I know each other from quite a while back. He's a semi-professional goalkeeper. I don't know how professional he was.
Well,
as a goalkeeper,
professional keeper. So
have you jacked it in now?
Yeah, jacked it in as of October last year. I was at Romulus. I also played at Redditch, Solihull Moors, just to name a few. Black Country Rangers being a bit more over your guys' neck of the woods. So you'd have caught me on a pitch at Wolves Sporting or at Hensford Town around those neck of the woods.
I love it.
In the past time. But now, look, the thing is with Dan Bentley is he always used to try and play from the back at Bristol City. And I think as a goalkeeper in the Championship, if you haven't got a particularly good back line that can play out from the back, it can make you look worse as a footballer when you're playing the trying to play out from the back. And I think the fact that he'll have better players around him. I mean, when we had Adam Webster, who's obviously shining at Brighton now, those two seemingly transitioned fantastically together, and we looked like a Premier League outfit in a Championship season. We don't have particularly strong ball players at the minute, or the ones that we do have, when they do, their percentage of keeping the ball would not be high. So I really think Dan Bentley's a quality goalkeeper. He will have the odd wobbly. Don't get me wrong. The Blues game, there was probably 2 goals out of the 3 when we lost 3-0 that he should have done much, much better with. But that's just the life of a goalkeeper. Playing out from the back, he's confident enough to do it. It'll be really interesting from City fans' perspectives to see how he does, because I think genuinely the whole fan base will wish him well, and might look back at it and think, shit, we let one through the roof there.
Yeah. Do you think he could challenge Jose Sarr? Mateo Sarkic is going out on loan to Stoke on Stoke City. So do you think it looks like he's going to be number 2? But do you think he could challenge Sarr for that number 1 spot?
Well, I mean, look, I like Jose Sarr as a goalkeeper, looking at it from a neutral perspective. I obviously read what you have on and what me and you chat about, and you've struggled this year. Good managers will always give opportunities to players who are doing well in training or waiting for their time. If Bentley comes in and hits the ground running, which he's more than capable of if he plays a game, and Sarr's not particularly performing well, then why not? I think if Bristol City had got to the Premier League, which was obviously the ultimate goal when he left Brentford to join us, I don't think he'd have looked out of place like Nick Pope and co when they've come up from the Championship. And he'd have probably got a Prem move after being in a season if we'd got relegated following. So, we haven't seen it. It's hard to predict it. There was a lot of rumours about him going to Stoke before you lot came in. So whether I would be more understanding of the Stoke move because of the fact that he was in the Championship and he probably played every week there. But if he does get a run in the team or he does get a chance, then it'd be really interesting to see how he goes.
And just finally, Stu, before I let you go, we've been linked to one of Bentley's current teammates in Alex Scott. A numerous clubs linked with him. It looks like Wolves are maybe plotting the move, but more so in the summer. He could be joining him. Stu, what's he like as a player?
Well, you can probably tell from the smile on my face. I said there. I'll make a bold statement to the talking. Alex Scott will start for England at the 2026 World Cup in USA, Canada, and Mexico. Everything that Bristol City do well at the minute comes from him. He's bearing in mind the age that he is. He's playing in a midfield three, and we are putting everything through him as a football club at the minute. He picks up the ball off the back four. He drives at defences. We've got a lad called Antoine Semenyo, who I think you were linked with as well, also earlier in the window, who's playing wide of the front three for us at the minute. He's extremely good as well and will be a Premier League player probably next season, if not January, as well. And Scott is basically feeding him his goals at the minute. I think there's no end to the talent that Alex Scott's got. I've not seen a player at Ashton Gate or at Bristol City as confident and as well kept on the ball as he is. Probably since my younger age of watching Leroy Lita as our sort of main.
Oh boy, loved the goal against Wolves.
He loved the goal pretty much anywhere he played. To be fair, but I think Alex Scott's a bit more switched on to what he needs to do to make it at the top of the game than what potentially Leroy was at his younger age. And I think the sky's the limit for Alex Scott. I'm not surprised to see that there's 4 or 5 Premier League clubs around him. And I kind of hope that I saw he was linked to Tottenham Hotspur the other day. And I said to you yesterday on WhatsApp, with what's happened with Jack Clark, who was in a similar position at Leeds, for his sake, because we always like to wish the young lads that have come through the academy well, I'd like to see him go to a Wolverhampton Wanderers where he'll probably play just by the fact that you've got players like Kilman who have been given a chance and have shone after that. I think he'd do really well for you.
Stu, thanks for your time, mate. Hopefully Wolves can complete the signing of Bentley. Sounds like a good keeper, and then hopefully in the summer we can poach Alex Scott off you.
Yeah, well, look, no, pleasure having that, and thanks for having me on. Good luck to Dan Bentley. Shame we won't have an away day at the Molyneux next season as the new manager.
You might do. You might do just shit, mate. Thanks, Stu, mate.
Good man. Bye-bye.
So big thanks to Matt and Stu for their thoughts and insights on Daniel Bentley to Wolves. But it's a new signing for Wolves. Really interesting one as well. And hopefully it's not the final piece of business Wolves do this window. As always, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hit that like button if you haven't already and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And I'll see you all next time.